Cash Cow back with another video, guys. Welcome back. Today, we gonna talk about our guy. One of the most underrated villains. Or some people may think he's rated where he needs to be. But, he is iconic in his own right. And today, we're gonna talk about our boy, Mr. chain and ball swinging villain himself, Mr. Carl Crusher Creel. Absorbing Man, that's right. Today I'm hitting you guys with 4 comics, and I'm going to hit you with a little backstory of this character to get you guys warmed up before I dive into those 4 comics. Now, with that being said, guys, Mr. Carl Crusher Creel, also known as Absorbing Man, started out as an ex-boxer. He was a boxer and a jailed criminal who became the Absorbing Man when he drank a liquid, which at the time he didn't know that Loki had laced the liquid with a mystical potion. So, the mystical potion gave him the power to absorb and become any material that he touches. Could be a good power, you know? In the right hands, very good. In the wrong hands, not so good. But this is all Loki's plan. Loki was trying to find other villains that could take his brother down. You know how that goes. You've seen the movies. You know how Loki gets down. So, in the process of drinking this liquid and that's laced with this mystical potion, he escapes prison by absorbing the metal from the guards' bullets that they're shooting at him. And then after that, he goes to battle Thor. So I guess it's like, in a way, Loki offers him a proposition, or he gives him a drink on it, you know, whatever, how that goes. And he goes to fight Thor. And in the process, he takes the ball and chain which he was shackled to. That's where he gets his, his chain and ball that he swings and tries to break stuff with. That's his most common weapon, was hand-to-hand combat weapon. Even though he technically, at this point, is a weapon because he can turn into anything and absorb whatever he touches. Now, in the process of battling Thor tricks Creel into changing his atomic structure into pure helium. And he ends up drifting harmlessly into the atmosphere, into outer space. Like Thor tricked him. And even though he got the brine, he don't have the brains. Let's just start with there. He's not that smart, and he probably was hit a few too many times as a boxer, so that probably rubbed off on him, and he all over the place at that point then, right? So Loki goes back to recover him from outer space, brings him back down, and he gives him a new mission. So he saw that fighting Thor head up wouldn't work, so he shows Absorbing Man what his actual powers are and how to master them, and then he gives him a command to take over the city of Asgard. So then he gives him that mission. So he tries to go, ends up fighting Odin, and in the process of him fighting Odin, he beats him, right? But Odin had a trick up his sleeve, of course, but also Loki comes to gloat while Absorbing Man's like kind of holding, Odin down, or taunting him or something, but Loki comes to gloat and taunt himself. And in the process of that, Loki and Absorbing Man end up fighting over the rod of rulership. Now, Absorbing Man tries to absorb the rod And they found out these two couldn't let it go at that point in time, so they were stuck holding it together. But they went from being having this alliance based on taking over stuff to they turned on each other, like they say, honor amongst thieves. So you know how that goes. And in the process of that, they both lose because Odin has figured out how to outsmart him. He's basically tricked their need for power and greed against them to turn against each other, and then they're banished to outer space. That's kind of like a quick solo, like quick hit 'em up, like beginning background story of Absorbing Man. But let's give you his enemies. So far, you know for a fact, Thor is his first enemy. He was sick on Thor. He was an attack dog against Thor. He also comes back later on in the comics and starts to fight the Hulk. And the quick background, what I just told you, in the end, he turns on Loki, and then Loki tries to, I guess, like later on in the comics, tries to destroy him or go after him. He knows his weaknesses, so he sends other people to do his bidding at that point in time. Obviously, Absorbing Man is still around, so he didn't do too well. Now, his powers are he can omnimorph duplication of stuff. So say like if he touches a chainsaw, he can morph into that chainsaw, become that chainsaw. Or if he wants to morph into a bullet, or he become that, or a big wrecking ball, or anything, like he can morph into that. He can duplicate that. And then also, like I said, the guy, he has a ball and chain proficiency. He's very accurate with that ball. Because I used to get him confused with the Wrecking Crew, because one of the members of the Wrecking Crew has like a chain and ball as well. But Absorbing Man kind of came, if I'm not mistaken, Absorbing Man came before the Wrecking Crew. So he's pretty much mastered that down. And then his only ally is Titania. Quick note, I don't have that comic to show you guys, but if you want to get it, I would say Avengers Unplugged number 4 is the marriage of Titania and Absorbing Man. That's a little quick gem, little key if you guys actually are wanting to get into that. That's something you guys maybe could, check out for yourself. Now, with that being said, let's hit you with these 4 comics. Now, the first one, guys, we have the Mighty Avengers number 13, which happens to be, you see that? The first team appearance of the Secret Warriors. Now, I know you guys are saying, well, what, the Secret Warriors don't have nothing to do with Absorbing Man. No. Technically, this is the first appearance also of the character Stonewall, which happens to be Absorbing Man's son. This is actually a comic that people kind of have started that spec'd on it a while ago. It kind of was going up, and now it's kind of just balanced out, and it is where it is. I think with the fact of the way that Secret Invasions went, it didn't go the way that it could have went with certain characters or the Secret Warriors team or stuff like that. So you'll see this comic continue to just stay at an even plateau. I don't think it'll really get that higher at the rate it's going right now, and the way speculation is. I wouldn't really spend too high of an amount to get this comic. It's not, if you want to read the story, then do what you want to do. If you want to save some money, don't spend too much on it. All right? But Stonewall, his son, is in this. This is his first appearance. Next, we got Journey into Mystery number 121. This has no really significance other than it has an iconic cover art by Jack Kirby. and it shows Thor and Absorbing Man fighting, and you see Absorbing Man slapping a mess, like he pimp slapping, you know, Thor. That's really only significance of this comic book is the cover art by Jack Kirby. It's very legendary. So that's one. If you focus on the cover art, you person like that, this could be one you could get into. Story isn't bad either at all, but that's the main thing that's important with this comic is the fact that it's iconic cover art by Jack Kirby. All right. Next, we got Journey into Mystery number 115. Hopefully you guys see that. This is the second appearance of Mr. Absorbing Man, Carl Crusher Creel. And it has an origin story of Loki in it as well. That, I guess, you know, it's the second appearance. And it has an origin of Loki. I don't see nothing wrong with that. I don't think you can go wrong with either one of those. Who's to say if we finally get Absorbing Man or the way we get Absorbing Man? I thought for some reason they were going to kind of push him into the She-Hulk story because Hulk is one of his enemies. So I thought they were going to probably try to do it that way. Or who's this, you know, my original thought before any of the TV shows, I thought they were going to have him fight Thor. But then again, he's not that big of a villain to really. He's not a Loki. He's not, you know, he's not a Enchantress. He's not one of those characters. He's not that like deadly and legendary. The man got tricked into getting turned into like particle matter and floated into space. So you can't really do a 2-hour movie on somebody that ain't that smart. At least, you know, you gotta be a little cunning, a little smartness to you, you know. Can't just be no dumb brute. You know, I mean, we saw how they did that back in the day with certain characters or certain DC characters with, you know, Bane. You like that's horrible. You know. But anyway, I thought that's what they were gonna do. I thought they were gonna put him into where he's like a sub character and Loki comes out and Loki's pulling the strings and Absorbing Man's trying to go after him because Loki has pushed him that way to go after him. But they haven't. And we know the next movie they're gonna do Hulk versus Thor. So who's to say when we get Absorbing Man? Now, quick note, guys. We have saw another version of Absorbing Man. What is his name? I can't think of the comic, but it was another, not the original version of Absorbing Man, but it was another version that appeared in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show. So they have put somewhat of him in the MCU or universe, but they haven't put the original Carl Creel in, you know, everything. I forgot his name. Please forgive me. If you guys know, tell me in the comments and we'll go from there. All right. And last one, but not least, the one that's most important if you really focused on getting it. It's the Journey into Mystery number 114. This happens to be the first appearance and origin of our boy. Yeah, that look nice. Also, the first appearance of Fenris Wolf and the first appearance of Udon, which is like an Asgardian, something of an Asgardian, right? But this is his first appearance. Now, this book ain't really, I mean, depending on the grade, if you get a higher grade, you may spend some bucks. But to be honest, I've seen this going for like under $100. You know, depends on the grade. Now, if you like trying to buy 8.0 or something, you might spend a little bit of money. It's kind of hard to find in, you know, higher grade. You know, that red and that background, and this is going to be graded. I spent some good money on this. I think this is close to a mid grade. Yeah, maybe. I want to say like a 2.5 on that range, 2.5, 3.0, but it is what it is. Well, with that being said, guys, this concludes my 4 comics that I feel like if you're really trying to get in on Absorbing Man, these comics kind of might get you to where you want to go. Plus the gem I dropped with the Avengers Unplugged #4, with the marriage of Tatiana. That's also important. So if they ever kind of start pushing Absorbing Man, the original one, not the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. version, they probably might touch in on that. And they could throw him in the She-Hulk series because if Tatiana is already in there, or Titania, sorry. If Titania is already in there and Absorbing Man's her husband, maybe that's how they mesh it together on another season of She-Hulk. Who knows how that goes? I think that would be pretty good. It would be more of a fight than the way they try to have the Wrecking Crew. Like, that, those guys were pansies. But that's neither here or there. It's Cash Cow, another video, guys. Conclude my 4 for your boy, Carl Crusher Krill. I'm out. Cash Cow with another video. Stay tuned, guys. Should be having an unboxing coming soon. Definitely got the confirmation that it is in the mail and on way. I can't wait. All right. With that being said, I'm out, y'all. Yeah, peace out, y'all.